All right, so we got some good, juicy stuff to cover today. Last week we touched upon um, a little bit of news. It was kind of like a theory, a conspiracy theory, maybe some would say, about Trump purposely crashing the stock market or causing a recession in order to refinance. And since we've covered that, seems like everyone else is talking about it. Everyone in the finance YouTube world has been talking about it, has put some sort of spin on it. One of the most notable YouTubers in our space is Graham Stephan. So I'd like us to watch his video and kind of react to it and maybe go into a little bit more depth. We did cover it in quite a bit last week, but there's always more to say, right?
Yes.
But there's a second reason the market could be falling that most people have no idea about, and that would be Trump crashing the market on purpose. First of
Mhm.
all, to clarify that this is just a theory. But you know what? Nothing surprises me anymore. So here's what we know to be fact. Right now, it's no surprise the government owes a lot of money. The national debt is currently sitting at over $36 trillion, and that number is only expected to keep going higher, which is soon going to cause a lot of problems. Why? Well, when you have a debt this large, you have to pay interest on the debt. And when interest rates are at record lows, paying off the debt is very easy. Like imagine it to be like a mortgage. Taking out $1 million loan at 0.5% interest is as simple as spending $5,000 a year to keep current on your monthly payments. But what happens when interest rates go up during a time that you're borrowing a lot more money and you've only locked in that record low interest rate for a few years? Exactly. Since interest rates have gone up significantly, the United States is now spending more money on interest payments than they are on defense for the first time.
Yeah, so for the first time ever, we are spending
Wow.
more on interest payments than defense. And, defense has always been one of the top priorities of the US budget.
It's incredible. I can't believe that. But I mean, with consumer debt where it is too, the we have to do something, right? So hopefully,
So do you think that this could also help consumers with the refinancing?
I mean, it's on in the short term, it's gonna help. It's gonna help with economic boost because with lower rates, the government can refinance their own debts, and with lower rates, then consumers can refinance their debts as well. But I'm not sure about like long term wise. So in the short term, it's gonna give it a economic boom, but in the long term, we don't know how long it's gonna take us to get out of a recession that we created ourselves, right? So
Yeah.
we don't know. That's dangerous territory, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's we knew the debt was there. It never went away. It's just now it's becoming an even bigger problem because it went from 0.5% interest to 7.5, right? So I wish Graham showed the difference in dollar amounts because it's always different when you think about it in percentages because it doesn't really affect like what's coming out of your wallet.
I don't think the US's interest will be seven. Let's just do this together. I have a blank page pulled up, 36 point, let's just say round up, trillion dollars. And according to a paper I read, 33% of it is going to be due this year. It's going to mature this year. So that's 12 trillion. And current interest rates are 3.2% on average. Um, right now, the Fed rate is 4.33, and most likely it'll be a point on top of that. So we're looking at 5.33 on a new refinance rate. So what's 12 trillion at,
At 5.33.
at 4.33% on an annualized? So let's do the math here. 12 times 533. If we just say it's an annualized number, or $640 billion. If it compounds monthly, that's a lot more.
Yeah. I
Well, fully amortizes with principal. If it's just interest only, that's like 53.3 billion per month.
Wow.
Holy
So
cow.
I guess like Trump's trying to come up a winner in this, right? He's trying to basically put a short term fix on it so that he can have the government refinance at a lot lower rate.
Yeah, yeah, there's going to be a lot of collateral damage. Let's just, for example, let's do it together. Let's say the Fed drops it to zero, like they did during the pandemic, and the government's able to refinance at 1%. This is what everyone's talking about. Fed's gonna go back to zero. I think it's a dream scenario. I don't think it's actually gonna happen.
Well,
But
yeah, will we be able to?
yeah, the 12
Probably like,
trillion, yeah, will we be able to? I don't know. Will they allow it? Because then things will go nuts, right? Stock market's gonna go bananas.
we'll have a refi boom again.
We'll have a refi boom again. Yes, that's what. So maybe that's what a lot of people want. Um, at 1%, that's 12 billion as opposed to 640 billion. So yeah, this is a huge difference. Four and what third percentage comes out to orders of magnitude
Yeah.
difference in terms of interest payment, just annually compounded. But if this is monthly compounded, that's insane.
And if you look at it in a smaller scale, if you look at it from like the borrower's perspective, if they're able to drop their rate that astronomically, that's why like a lot of people are not getting out of the rates when they had it during COVID. So if the rates do drop, that's going to allow people who finance or refinance in 2022 and on to capture a lower rate and basically like drop their payment dramatically. And that's also going to push purchases to go up because more borrowers are going to be able to qualify at bigger loan amounts, so they're actually be able to qualify for a purchase rather than not, a lot of them. So in the short run,
Totally.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, if we can get the short-term rates back down, it just improves purchasing power for the consumer because a 0.5% rate decrease could equal 50 to $100,000 more in purchasing price power, right? So it makes
Hmm.
a huge difference.
Mhm.
So maybe short-term pain for long-term gain, right? If asset prices drop, maybe middle-class America can buy at a discount while the government locks in cheaper debt. So it could be a win-win-win for everyone.
Well, we don't know when that win's going to happen, right? That short-term pain might become a long-term pain for a while because for us to have a controlled a recession, we don't know how long. Recession doesn't have a stop button or a a joystick for you to kind of maneuver around. You cannot control how recession happens. Would what if it becomes like the Great Depression, where basically like or even 2008, right? 2008, how long it dragged on, what kind of impact it had on the economy. It had such a long-term impact. It took for us a long time to get out of it. That pain might not just be a short-term pain, it might be a long-term pain.
Mm.
So
I'm like torn on this too because like I can't tell. Like I think the intention is there to like direct us to the right place long term, but it's like just a little bit of what Nikki said. It's like how long? What are we waiting for? And at what what are we going to break along the way? Are we okay with having things break along the way? Is there a solution? Once things break, how are we going to fix it? '08, as a reminder, is like it took housing market was flat for like 7 years after, right? Didn't really recover until mid 2010s. So
also that's going to also lose the Fed's credibility as well, because if they know that, oh, Trump did this and it became successful, how are investors going to think like in the future if people can do that to the market? Because the Fed actually should be independent. It should be separate from any entity, and if a political entity can come in and influence what it's doing, it's going to lose the Fed's credibility as well.
That's a really great point, and I don't think anyone's really talking about that. If the president, the office of the president, can influence the Fed by crashing the market or threaten to crash the market,
Yeah.
yeah, the power shifts dramatically to the Oval Office.
yeah, the executive branch is just taking complete control of all government, right? Because they're like downsizing, putting all these acts in place, and then the Fed's going to be cornered. So it's like, who really has the power? Now it's just I'm scared to say it. I don't want to get that.
Yeah. And then we get into the Trump dictatorship that everyone was afraid of.
I mean, he could actually like if he has more power, if this goes through, he can bully the feds to low rates. He could even start to move people aside and basically like assign people that he can actually control, right? In the
That's
in the
crazy.
feds.
Investor sentiment is going to change dramatically too, because if one person or office can wield all that power, like what kind of confidence do you have as an investor, real estate or not, like stock markets, equities, businesses? That changes the whole dynamic. It's kind of scary thinking about it.
It does that absolutely. So if Trump sets a precedent that as a president you can crash the market through these executive orders, maybe Trump has good intentions for this. Who's to say that the next president will have the same good intentions for the country, right?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of opened doors that we might not want to open because our system is set up where there's three powers that should be divided equally. But if the
Hmm.
power shifts to one side, how's it going to be in the future?
Yeah, it's going to be exactly what our not forefathers, exactly what the founding fathers didn't want to happen.
Too much control in one party,
Hmm. Not even one party, one office.
one office. Sorry,
Yeah. Maybe one party is accurate too, because the Democratic Party is kind of they're not getting their
in
stuff
the
together.
shadow. Yes.
Yeah, sad. I wish I wish the powers were a little bit more balanced. It could end up if, if this is all like 4D chess for Trump and the rest of us are pawns, we're just gonna get sacrificed. He said it directly on Fox News, right? We can't think quarter by quarter. We have to think 100 years out, just like the Chinese. Um, I'm not gonna live 100 years from now. If this is
Yeah.
gonna benefit Americans 100 years down the line, then yeah, I guess, yeah, we're gonna get
100 years
sacrificed.
down the line isn't even our kids, right? It's like
I
their kids'
know.
kids.
Yeah.
It's like the third or fourth generation from now. So it's like Gen Alphabet, right? I don't know what it's going to be then, but
Gamma, alpha, beta, gamma.
yeah. If he's playing a game of chess right now, I don't even know if we're considered pawns at this point because I think that was sacrificed weeks ago already.
Yes.
So I have no idea what's on the board because it's like he's got an army of queens just going all over the place, and it's not just pawns.
Elon Musk is a queen for sure. That
That
should
would
be our
actually be a really
that
good
should
name.
be our
Elon Musk
title.
is a
Elon Musk is
queen.
a queen. Oh my gosh, she would love that.